To see you. We're here to talk about Halloween and how Halloween is going to look a little bit different. We hope it looks a little bit different this year because it needs to look a little bit different this year. And the bottom line is what we are asking of all of our residents and our community as a whole is to avoid traditional trick-or-treating this year. As you know, the coronavirus numbers continue to increase statewide. They have been at higher levels than we'd like here in Hartford, and we want to make sure that we're continuing to do everything we can as a community to keep those numbers under control and to avoid further increase. So we're asking folks to do a number of things. First of all, please don't go trick-or-treating as you normally would. Halloween is always a great night in the city of Hartford. We have neighborhoods where you get thousands and thousands of kids out, but we can't do that this year. So please avoid your traditional trick-or-treating. We'd also ask that you avoid parties, avoid gatherings. As you know, there is a prohibition on gatherings over 25 people, but the reality is you shouldn't be gathering with anywhere near that number of people if you don't need to. And please don't try to substitute trick-or-treating with a big party, even if it's a big family party. It's important that we continue to be cautious. Trunk-or-treating, unless it's a drive-through that is organized by an organization that is taking all of the necessary precautions, please avoid trunk-or-treating too. Again, Halloween is just one of those times when with the numbers of people that come out, with the excitement of the moment, with the energy that all the little kids have, it's so hard to maintain the necessary distance. It's so hard to maintain the basic precautions. So it's important not to create an environment in which that happens. There's still a lot of things you can do to have fun on Halloween. You can obviously dress up and wear that costume and have a little party among your family, with your household, where you are. Make a movie night of it. Have a scavenger hunt. Have some candy all together or cook something good all together. There's lots of ways still to celebrate. But at the end of the day, we want our motto here in Hartford to be, as it is around the country, that Halloween should be spooky but not scary. And the way we make sure that Halloween is spooky but not scary this year is make sure that we're all being careful, that we are doing it differently this year, that we're being careful and cautious, that we are wearing our masks, watching our distance, and washing our hands. And finally, let me just say that we really depend on everybody taking this seriously on your own. Halloween's a time when everybody comes out individually, but we need you. You as parents, you as kids, you as a community. We need you to take responsibility for keeping one another safe this Halloween. So thank you very, very much. I'm going to turn this over now to our Health Director, Leonie Arroyo, and then to our Fire Chief, Chief Freeman, for some additional words.
Good afternoon. I just want to reiterate a little bit of what Mayor Bronin just said. Our cases are high. We are in a red alert status here. We have a red alert for the city of Hartford for the second week in a row. It is likely that that alert status will continue this week as well. So we really need our community to take precautions and to really think about whatever you're doing, is it worth it? Is it worth going out trick-or-treating where you might expose yourself? Is it worth going to the homes of strangers who may not be taking the precautions that you and your family have taken in order for a couple of sweets? I encourage all of the adults in the lives of children, caretakers, caregivers, parents to be creative, to think outside of the box, to stay within their own family home and do other things. My own daughters have asked me, why do they have costumes if they're not going to go trick-or-treating? Because we're going to have fun at home. And that's how we're going to do it in our own home. So I am also impacted by this with two young ones who ask me questions. I'm the evil witch of public health right now about this, but I think it's important that this is really about saving someone's life that you might not even know, because we don't know if someone catches COVID, what kind of reaction they're going to have. So would you like me to repeat in Spanish now? Le quiero hablar a la comunidad acerca de este día de Halloween, de los espantos. Sé que es diferente cómo se tiene que celebrar este año, Pero como ya saben todos, ya estamos la segunda semana en a la alerta roja por el estado, por los casos que tenemos de COVID. Esperamos vamos a estar en ese mismo estado esta semana también. Así que, por favor, le estamos pidiendo a la comunidad que piensen en lo que van a hacer este sábado y también el viernes si piensan a tener fiestas. Tenemos que celebrar diferente. Uno no sabe si uno se contagie, qué va a ser las consecuencias de eso, si se lo trae a una persona en su familia y se enferman. No vale la pena ir a la casa de personas que no conoces para buscar dulces cuando una persona no sabe las precauciones que ellos mismos están tomando en esas casas. Así que le estoy pidiendo a nuestras familias que por favor no vayan de puerta a puerta buscando dulces este año. Háganlo en su casa, sean creativos, tengan un encuentro de dulces en su vecindario, en su patio, en su casa, vístanse y se quedan en casa, vean una película. Pero por favor piensen en que si el acto de ir a salir de casa en casa vale la pena para ti y para tu familia. Gracias.
Good afternoon. Just want to reiterate just a few things that Mayor Bronin and Director Arroyo has already pointed out. Obviously, Halloween should be spooky, but not scary. And the way that becomes scary is if we get complacent as a community and don't take the necessary precautions that we should to ensure that we are all safe. There is a lot of ingenious ways that people are celebrating Halloween. One that I like the most is one citizen has a PVC pipe going from their front door. I even seen one coming from the second-story window outside. So when kids approach their home, they can drop the candy through the chute and it gets into the kid's bucket. So think outside the box. Make sure that you're using every precaution that you can to keep yourself and everyone else safe. That includes washing your hands continuously, using hand sanitizer frequently, even if you are in your home and you decide to utilize an ingenious way to give kids candy, such as through a PVC pipe or some other means. Also, social distancing is so very important, so we also plead with you to not go to large gatherings, to Halloween parties. Our numbers indicate that we see spikes when that happens. So it's not just necessarily one specific incident that could be dangerous to you or your families. It could be a culmination of different scenarios. So again, as Mayor Bronin has already stated, please exercise caution. We are now 8 months well into this pandemic, but together we can continue to work together to ensure that our residents are safe. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chief. Thanks, Director Arroyo. And I just want to stress again, what we're asking our community as a whole to do, and parents and kids, is to understand that, like almost everything else in 2020, Halloween has got to look a little bit different, and we ask for your help in doing that. And that means that we ask you not to go trick-or-treating the way you normally would. We're going to put up on our website a little flyer that's got the do's and don'ts this year. Don't trick-or-treat. Don't trunk or treat unless it's an officially sponsored event where folks are in their cars, and avoid parties or gatherings. But again, as Director Arroyo said, there's a lot of fun ways to celebrate Halloween at home in a safe way. We encourage you to do that. But remember, this is just one more time when we all have to keep in mind the importance of protecting one another. This is about the health and safety of our kids, of our grandparents, of our loved ones, of our neighbors, of our co-workers, of our fellow students. This is one more time when we as a community have to stay strong, have to stand together, have to do things a little bit differently, and have to continue to be careful. Thank you, everybody.
Are you encouraging people not to hand out candy? I know we are creative ways.
Yes, no, I think we are encouraging people not to go trick-or-treating, and we're encouraging people not to hand out candy from their door the way that they normally would.
Okay, and what's on the line here? How close are the numbers? I don't know if Alfred or whoever, but schools seem to be, you're in school full time. There's a lot on the line as far as how you're doing for the city, and we've seen what the track and trace can do.
That's right. We have said for weeks now that we believe it is so important for the educational well-being, for the emotional and social well-being of students and families that we continue to offer in-school learning for as long as we responsibly can do it. But how long we can responsibly do it depends on how well we control this virus. And we have seen, we look at the numbers every day. Sometimes there's a lag in that, how that data comes in. Sometimes the numbers get adjusted. But we look at it every day. And we are constantly focused on striking that right balance of making sure that we do everything we responsibly can to keep our community safe, that we keep our schools open for in-person learning as long as we responsibly can do it.
Being that Halloween's a Saturday, it's probably more difficult, but seeing their kids are in school, is there something the health department, school systems are doing to monitor a little extra closely, say Tuesday or Wednesday, when not everybody's going to follow this? Are we expecting a spike? Are we doing anything?
Look, the question is, are we doing anything to prepare for a possible spike after Halloween? What I would say is, we have made testing available and accessible throughout our community at so many different locations. I think we're probably we probably have one of the most accessible testing regimes in the entire state, or if potentially in the entire country. So we certainly encourage folks to get tested all the time. We think that our community testing, our mobile testing, our in-school testing will all be important if there is a spike. But what we really hope is that there is no spike as a result of Halloween. As you said, Halloween's fallen on a Saturday. That may make it all the more tempting for folks to get out there. But, as a community, we've shown so much strength and so much discipline for so long. We can't let that go away now. We can't lose we can't lose focus on what's at stake, because it is the health of our family and friends and our community, and it's also our ability to continue to offer in-person learning and keep restaurants and workplaces open. All of that's at stake. And as you see the coronavirus numbers go up nationwide and here in Connecticut, it's important that we all stay just as vigilant as ever. And unfortunately, that means that the normal way we do Halloween's got to be different this year, but I think we're all used to doing things a little bit differently this year. Any other questions?